All right.
All right.
If you say so.
Good evening, ladies, lords, lasses, and all those in between. The Desire, humble game master, the deathly Shad, here today with my lovely little co-hosts and players that they are. Agathar, would you be so kind as to say hi to the people?
I totally did listen to sad music all the way here.
Maury, say hi to the people.
I definitely didn't listen to sadder music
All right.
on my way here.
Francois, say hi to the people.
It's-
I had Chinese food, so I'm plenty happy.
All right. Soren.
About these sad sacks.
well, it has the reverse effect on me. It makes
I'm
me
just
happy.
getting to the mines.
Soren, you say hi to the
I
people.
had Taco Cabana.
Nice. Valen, say hi to the people.
Cabana.
What's food?
Hmm.
I haven't
This
had.
man has spent the last couple of hours staring at a clock. Is it time yet? Is it time yet? Is it time yet? Don't start talking about it.
He is you're not wrong on that one. You're not wrong on that one.
That and sleeping.
Anyway,
Oh my
I don't
Um,
even know if Taco Cabana exists outside of Texas. I've never seen one except Texas.
It doesn't matter because I'm in Texas and that's all that matters.
anyway,
Oh yeah, brother.
regardless, we have a good show for you guys today. We're gonna have a lot of emotional beats and whatnot, hopefully. And well, no use in postponing anymore. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and so on and so forth, and give us a follow on Twitch. Till then, though,
Hydrate.
let's
And
and hydrate.
Hydrate.
Let's
As
get
I
right
s-
into the action.
As I set down my gallon jug.
So, when last we left our adventurers, Agathar the Kobold Necromancer, Morrigan the Halfling Divination Wizard, Rensois the Rabbitfolk Monk, Soren the Rabbitfolk Samurai, and Valen the Rabbitfolk Cleric, the party just arrived at Mel's house. After taking a much-needed 3-4 day-ish journey to get there, and some much-needed R&R. Yet, the looming conversation has been taking up their minds, I would imagine, to a degree. And despite a lovely wedding and a proposal from Agathar to his love Soifang, we
Has
now...
been wedding yet?
Yeah, proposal, I said.
You start off with wedding.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No knot has been tied just yet.
Yet. Anyway, but we come now to meeting that everyone's been waiting for. As you guys have walked into Mel's house and into her room. Will they have this neat conversation? Will they even make it out alive? Who knows? I don't. Let's find out today as we return to the Rains of Vitrium.
Just imagine we're all getting in here for a conversation. Maury's cracking her knuckles, then pushing her head, her chin left and right to crack her neck.
Alright. And as the door closes behind you guys, she stands there before the five of you, all smiles. And without needing an insight check, you can all feel this tension here. The hair on the back of your neck is standing on end. Agathar, your danger sense is screaming.
Okay.
She holds out a clawed hand. My orb, if you would. Return it to me.
Who's got the orb?
I think you do.
What?
Is it you?
Yeah,
Either
Agathar
me or
does.
you.
Okay. He'll take it out of his bag slowly and kind of present it to her. Here.
She will smile and pluck it from your fingers and say, "Why, thank you, dearies. I always knew you would do the right thing." She clutches it in her hand as that purple light drains from within it and slithers along her black scales and into her eyes before the orb goes dormant. She gives a small shudder, a wiggle, before looking back to you guys. Now, what was it you wanted to ask me or to discuss?
Or like a long pregnant pause where everybody's like somebody actually gets a cough off.
Oh boy. Agathar will. God, this danger. He actually was not anticipating his danger sense to be going nuts. He swallows kind of hard. And he just kind of looks at her, and he's just gonna say, "We learned a lot. We learned a lot about Suba."
Her eyes narrow very slightly. Interesting.
Yeah. We learned. I found out that Raymir never killed his son. Because, of course, why would it be anybody else? There's only, at the time, 2 people who could cast the family spell, that Death Beetle. And it wasn't Hanka, because she would never do such a thing to her own kin. So it had to be him, right? Well, how could they have known that there was a survivor of the Archmage's apprentices? One that was banished to the Shadowfell. How could they have known that they clawed, killed, and absorbed their way out of it to, oh god, that threw me off. The tooth clawed and absorbed their way out of the Shadowfell. How could they have known that their that apprentice survived? Because the apprentices can cast that spell. Why did you kill Agarius?
Soren's left hand is on the sheaths of Migi and Hidari right now.
And I think he stepped closer to her, but not like getting in her face, but he just he came in with this kind of sense of determination, and then as he was just kind of standing in front of her, someone that he just admires and loves, that she would do such a thing, just a face of just this deep sadness kind of crawls on his face as he spoke, and he is tense. He is obviously scared, but he looks at her kind of pleadingly, like, why did you do it?
Next question. I don't owe you an explanation for that one.
What do you mean? What do you not? You don't owe me an explanation? I share his name! For some reason, I share his name!
Do you now?
Yes, you know this!
Hmm. No, I didn't. But, as I said, dearie, next question. That one's a bit off limits, if you understand. And that sense of danger spikes.
My insight? Because I don't have a danger sense.
Sure. In fact, all of you can insight if you wish.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a 3 for me.
Ah.
I just
What do you
hate
want
her
to be?
in general.
Soft 20.
Okay.
23.
23. Valen, Bubby, would you happen to have had guidance up?
Sure.
We just outwardly casting spells in front of the Archmage who's like clearly
I
throwing some
mean,
bloodlust.
it lasts a minute in its concentration. He could have precast it before entering the room.
Yeah. Let me roll that d4.
Ooh, nice.
Alright. So, inside of 3 and 10 doesn't reveal anything to you. Inside of 20 and 21, both Agathar and Soren can feel that she is feeling very murderous right now. And with that insight of 27, Valen, you can see that she's currently glancing between each of you, currently contemplating the slaughter of each and every one of you. But since it was you specifically, Valen, who made that check, I'll give you a little something extra.
Oh.
You would know that Mel doesn't consider murdering people. And that going by your history with her and your interactions thus far, if she wanted all of you dead, you would be dead. So, there might be something to that.
Okay.
And without even looking to you, Agathar, she turns towards the rest of you. Are there any other questions about other things aside from Suba? Consider that topic off limits. Especially if you want to maintain my good side.
Like I ever had it.
Oh,
Nor did I want it.
Valen! I just noticed, dearie. You're so tense. All those protective spells around you. Did you think I wouldn't notice?
Oh. Mel. I knew that you would notice.
Then why bother with them? She snaps her fingers, and a spark of silver from the rooftop flickers, and you have Dispel Magic cast on you.
Precautions this, precautions that. You taught me to be paranoid and would seem that your teachings have given me just that.
Good.
It seems Suba is off the table, is it not?
Yes, it is.
How unfortunate. I'm sure Agathar had more questions about that topic. Perhaps you tried to bend out of that topic because it's, well, as I can tell, aggravating to you. See, my questions aren't truly about Suba, but it has echoes of them. So, how would you like me to call you? Perhaps you share kinship with your old name, Elmvira.
My name is Mel, not Elmvira, dearie. You'll need to get your facts checked.
Perhaps a sibling, but... Speaking of siblings, I recently found out I have one.
Good for you.
Now tell me, Mel. I want no lies and no deceit. No half-truths and no avoidance. You're still under an agreement of no toying around. No acting out or anything else.
All
So
this.
why?
All this pomp and circumstance. Surely this question must be important.
Several questions. Several questions that you might have answers for. Some you do. So tell me, why the hell was I under a contract? One which blocked my memories, and yet not all of them are still yet returned. For what reason did you and Lucas have to start slavery? Are you so connected to your old master of Suba that you wish to be like him?
At that, the sense of danger in the air quintuples almost. And for the first time in a long time, Agathar, Balin, Francois, the three of you feel fear. Ice in your bloodstream, quickened breath. You don't see just a small little kobold before you, but the culmination of necromantic magic that there is. As she cracks her neck and points at him, points at Valen. You would do well not to compare me to that thing. And you would do well to know your place. You want answers?
No,
you want...
So then enlighten us with the difference.
The difference is I'm not a monster. And you... She points at Valen. And you would do well to remember that. All of you would do well to remember that. To remember that I am the reason for everything you are. I lifted you each up from the dregs of what you were. I gave you the power you love to flaunt before everyone else. I remade you. And I am benevolent. I am merciful. And you have no power over me. You have no bargaining chips. You have nothing to force me to relive my most traumatic existence.
No
Oh,
bargaining chip. Is that truly what you think? All these
Aelin, shut the hell up.
Why
no.
should I?
No,
After
Renswa,
all-
please. Let him speak. Let him dig his own grave. In fact, you know what? I know why you're all here. She takes a couple steps back and spreads her arms wide. You have your chance. Try it. Try and kill me. It's what you wanted, isn't it? It's what you were plotting for? Planning for?
No, mother, we're not.
You see, Francois, paranoia keeps many things alive. She just revealed a tidbit, and yet you're still avoiding it. She remade us. A teleportation circle to Agathar's home nearby, buying me from Lucas. Tell us, Mel, where did Rensoir come from? All these lies and deceit you ring about. Why not tell us the truth?
What truth do I owe to any of you? And you, Valen, if you were paying attention, you would know that I did indeed remake Rensoir. It's because of me that she has her monkish strength now. Because I
Yeah, no,
buried
she
my fist
literally
into her
remade
chest.
me in case you forgot that I suddenly doubled in height.
That is still not the
So
point.
even you have to give a point to that one.
And yet, are you not? Huh. Of course not. You put too much blind faith into someone. Who knows, she may have a contract on you as well. But, Mel,
And if she did, what concern if that would be of mine?
because you may be more similar to me than you think.
What petty little arguments we make. Can't we all just get along? If you want to, you can
Get-
hit me.
Oh, Mel. You know, on this little trip to Mirza, I discovered many things. One of which is that I now know a sliver of why you dislike the Matron of Feathers. You avoid death because you fear it. You say that I have no
I fear
no
nothing,
weapon.
least of all you.
If you won't give me answers, I know that I'll at least get them out of Lucas. ch-ldr-n will be interested to hear about this. You and Lucas, and however many of the others, all taking part in a little soldier making operation right under her nose while she was not in her right mind.
Don't conflate me with that giggling shitheel. I am different. I am nothing like him.
And yet, I mentioned him but once, and you keep on turning back. You keep on circling back round and round, trying to convince yourself otherwise.
I don't need to convince myself, and least of all do I need to convince you. I owe you nothing.
Ah. How unfortunate. I wanted answers. I had a feeling you would never give it to us. You lost all my faith the moment I regained my memories. The moment I found out a truth. My paranoia, yes, you created. Us three are aspects of you. Just as you're an aspect of your master.
I told you I am nothing like him. I am not it.
We are all a sliver of those that make us.
Well, say that I am the same one more time, and you'll see.
Dylan, are you asking to die right now?
Perhaps I may die. But know that Mel, she thinks she can avoid death. When unfortunately, death catches up eventually. As he reaches up to his bracer and pulls a bit of the bramble vine. He pulls it slowly and harder. Blood starting to come from his armor as y'all notice the thorns tearing through his skin as he pulls the bramble vine out. It's almost a shame that you and Lucas tried to create soldiers for an army to prevent an upcoming disaster. But in your hubris, you never expected that your good little soldier boy would be the one that holds a key into ending you, as he throws the vine at Mel.
I have a question.
Now,
Are you attempting to activate your
Nathan, what the
ability?
fuck are you doing?
yes.
So, you lift that up off of you. And she smiles and holds her arms out wide as if expecting something. And then, before you feel the ability go forth and take hold, you see... Oh, you don't see anything. You hear it. A single word echoed and you feel a cold hand grip your chest. And then your body goes limp.
Counterspell?
Can't counterspell this. It isn't her casting it.
Who's casting it?
It's a glyph of warding. And as counterspell says, you disrupt a creature that is casting a spell. And as you fall to the ground with life fading from your eyes, you can see Mel standing directly in front of you with this look of utter horror on her face. As the light fades from your eyes,
Balin!
and you begin to free float. Please hold for a second. And as you fall to the ground and you begin to free float from your body, almost as if time has begun to slow down, Francois crying out for you, Agathar looking stunned, Percival trying to counterspell something that she can't target. And Mel sitting there with this look of abject horror and just remorse on her face. As you see another glyph go off and you find your soul caged within bars of necromantic energy. But before even your body hits the ground, Mel has caught you. Francois, your reaction?
I could not hear what she did. She caught him.
Yeah, she caught his body. And she looks
What the
utterly...
fuck just happened?
Okay. She looks utterly mortified with him in her arms dead. Agathar?
No, what the hell was that glyph?
I think Agathar, for the first time, I think he's just frozen. He just sees his brother just drop. Mel suddenly just wears a face he's never seen on her before. And I think he's just genuinely just frozen as he just stares at Mel and Balin.
All right. And Renzo, I will answer that in a second. Soren?
Soren first would like to do an insight check to see if Mel actually is remorseful.
Go ahead.
17.
Yeah. You see tears starting to well in like the corners of her eyes as that mask she was wearing before is just shattered.
Soren's response is very much like Rensoir's, where he yells Valen's name and starts to run over to him and is frantically trying to dig into his bags for one of his potions of healing.
Morrigan?
Auto snap. This will look great on the fridge.
It's just like I just walk back in the scene with the sandwich. What happened?
Oh no, Balin, what happened? I guess his room is open now.
I don't suppose my thing would do an unfucky wucky.
It would. but going by Mel's reaction, you get the feeling you maybe won't need to.
Oh, so she's just gonna fix the problem she sorted?
It could be a glyph that wasn't meant for him.
Yeah. This kind of does that, because she's like on her knees and she's already short, so she's just looking down from the dregs, like ways away, looking down on them like pathetic. like Seymour Skinner's just.
So Rensois, you're like, well, what the fuck was that glyph? And she just looks up at you. It was a defensive one. You idiot! You fool! You knew you had no chance, so why try it? Why did you do this to yourself? Why didn't you just listen? We could have been happy again, but you just had to take things further. You just had to keep pushing. You all did.
Pushing. You pushed harder back. You wouldn't answer him.
What about the clones? You can
He's
shove
been-
him back in one of those.
He's been soul caged. He's been
What?
caged. And she'll reach up into the air and just seem to grab something as you, Valen, see her hand close around your cage. Or she brings it to her bosom and just rips it apart. And then before you can even float away, she grabs you and slams you back into your chest. You're revived but unconscious.
Alright.
Soren was still digging for a potion of healing, so he's probably found his superior healing potion and is currently trying to administer it to Valen.
Yes.
Like, he has no idea what happened, so he's trying everything he can.
Yeah. Which she kind of, like, backs away, letting you do that as she's just like, she's like,
You poor, pompous little thing.
Morgan, shut the fuck up!
It
Not right
wasn't.
now.
It wasn't supposed to activate unless he had something that could actually harm me. How was I supposed to know he had something like that? How was? And she kind of
Morgan,
just.
wait outside. This isn't meant for you.
Oh, she can't leave.
Well, fuck.
And you see, she just kind of like runs a hand through along the back of her head, and she just shudders. I'm no longer in control of myself. All of you stay here. I'll be back.
Oh, Mom.
Don't call me that.
Mom, listen to me. Whatever past is haunting you, I know it may hurt. It's gonna keep hurting if you keep facing it alone. Things like this idiot are going to keep happening if you keep trying to fight it alone. You have been fighting it alone for hundreds of years, and you have us. Stop facing all of your fights alone.
Francois. Please. Persuasion? At advantage.
14?
Luck tokens?
I have 2 of them.
Would you like to use one or both?
I'll use both of them.
Okay. Anyone else want
I'll
to?
turn it to a 16.
Yep. Anyone else want to pile them on?
Wait, and then let me hold on. Let me do a high-low to see if no, Rensoir's in the throes of stuff. She's not going to take the time to cast fucking guidance.
I wasn't gonna let you.
Soren's got a luck token. I would say that him trying to revive Valen as much as he can it could probably be like visualized as him, or it could be like this could be him like offering his luck token to Rensois. So.
All right, 17. Anyone else?
Okay.
I wish I had any tokens. I don't have any.
All right.
Just roll worse, 5-head.
He has been rolling bad. He just hasn't been getting any nat ones.
Yeah.
I used
So
them
roll
for,
worse,
like,
5-head.
Can I start farming for natural ones?
And
Wait, no, didn't you use like 3 of your tokens to propose to your wife?
100%,
Yes.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Rather use
and
it on that.
and as you kind of say that to her, she just clenches her fists. And she's openly crying at this point.
Rensois just going to like kneel and wrap herself around Mel, and I assume Mel is also probably like on her knees at like Valen's body.
No, she's stood up and was trying to make her way away when you
Oh, okay.
called out
Well,
to her.
she is still going to like wrap herself around her.
She'll hold. And like she tries to fight at first, and it's like, you know, she could probably throw you off or do something to escape, but it's just not in her right now. And she just says, I'm a monster. I'm a monster. I always was one. I still am. I need to regain control. Just give me 10 minutes or something.
I think Agatha will step to Mel, and I think he will try to find a place where he can hug her as well. A lot easier because it's right at height.
Rensois will kind of loosen her grip a little bit to look down at her face. If you need 10 minutes to compose yourself, take them.
Oh, speaking of... Sorry, Valen, you were awake for this. You were potioned. Potions restore health. You're back above 0.
And Soren would be taking a full action if he needs to make sure that all of it gets in there.
Yeah, that's fine. So you wake up to seeing Mel getting hugged by Rensois and Agatha.
As I was
Wait,
saying,
They were so
hear
happy you died, they just had to thank her.
Anyway,
Wow.
as you were saying, Rensois, please finish.
Yeah, she basically pulls away and is like, if you need 10 minutes to compose yourself, take them. But you're wrong about one thing. So we just got through fighting monsters, the Debt Lords. Because you see, the difference is a monster doesn't think that they're a monster. A monster does what it does, believing itself to be in the right.
She is just going to shake her head solemnly and just kind of slump. And then she'll wave her left hand, and you see the rug in the middle of the room fold away, revealing a trapdoor. Go see what your mother really is. And then she'll turn and drink a potion, turning blue wispy into ethereal, as she slips both your hug and Agathar's hug and leaves the room.
She just sighs heavily, looking a good 10 years older than she should be. And she'll kind of cock her head and look over to Valen, seeing him awake. You know, I thought you promised me not to do anything stupid, or at least to try. We really need to get you to try harder next time.
Hey, how you feeling, big guy? Your music
Valen is
wasn't
muted.
Rip.
Damn it.
Say everything you just said, but again.
Like maybe Valen's mouth was moving, but there was nothing coming out.
He was still recovering from the paralysis of being dead
Yeah.
and then being violently revived.
It was.
I only promised that against ch-ldr-n. But if you two are so persuaded to keep your trust and faith in Mel, don't say that. Don't come to me when it all backfires. I've survived this. I've survived worse.
You survived this because she saved you.
If she was the person you really thought she is, she wouldn't have revived you.
She looked really remorseful during that. I could feel it, Valen.
Everyone can put on a mask. And Valen will get up and try to leave the room.
That wasn't a mask, Valen.
The door is locked. You cannot
you
leave.
Fucking dumbass. We've always known she's been wearing a mask our entire lives. That wasn't the mask. That was the mask falling off. You fucking idiot.
And yet, she never even answered any of our questions.
Because you did something dumb. You got yourself killed.
She is never going to answer our questions. I knew that. You knew that.
She might now.
And yet, how do we know that it won't be another lie? How the hell do we know that she won't actually speak of the truth?
And
All this
You know-
time, she trained soldiers. And yet, you two still have faith in her.
and I tried to
Such
talk to
blind
her.
faith.
My faith has never been blind.
But you still are.
I think the only person that's blind here is you. Blind by your anger.
I'm rolling something. Okay, she does not roll up and punch you in the face.
Ooh!
Let's put you back on the floor.
Yeah.
I
Fine.
would,
But
How many health? It's like how many health points did he recover?
We're about to
that's
have this.
Asking for a
good
friend.
Yeah.
I think while everyone's having this emotional moment, you just hear a thump as the trapdoor closes and Maury's no longer in the room.
Like, well, I'm gonna just.
I was asked
Well-
to leave.
Looks like I was asked to look into shit, and I am a curious bitch.
unfortunately, there'll be nothing left down there for you to look into because I got there first.
The stuff is mine.
Very secret
I
side
call dibs on all of the wish scrolls. I know she's hiding them somewhere.
Victor
Yeah,
glances
so-
at the trapdoor and just looks at Valen. It's just, we trust you. Should we be blind to that as well, or should we not trust you? Do you trust us? Do you trust anybody?
Never put all of your. What does the saying go? Never put all of your stones in the same bowl. Above game, I don't know the exact saying, but you get that.
Never put all your eggs in one
Eggs in one
basket.
All your eggs in
Yeah,
one
that-
basket.
Listen, I've heard about 6 different variations of that.
And you chose rocks in one bowl.
Don't count your eggs. Don't
Listen.
count your eggs before they basket.
He's playing Malachite over there.
Listen.
No,
again,
Mahjong,
6
that's the name of the
different-
thing. Is it?
6 different sayings, all in 6 different states. All right.
I don't know what you're smoking. I want some.
Um,
Nothing. I don't smoke.
But yeah, but Soren
Don't,
does.
don't organize your crayons if you lose the box.
But Soren will ask the group. He'll say, once she's composed, can I have a chance to talk to her alone?
sure.
If she allows it.
Of course, if she allows it. I don't think I'd be able to force it.
But we'll come across that when that happens. And Valen, I'll keep that in mind with you, because I don't think you're capable of holding on to anything worthwhile. And he just kicks open the trapdoor and just goes down it.
Yeah, Renswall will start making her way towards it as well, and she'll turn back. You wanted answers? Come see if this answers anything for you. Assuming you're willing to believe anything, other than your own rage. Calling me blind. And she will move down.
Alright.
Soren won't. He's going to stay above the trapdoor.
Hey, Soren, above game buddy. You want to go down there?
The player wants to go down there, but Soren believes it's not any of his business. Like this is a matter for the family. Like he has.
Family.
Alright.
Family.
You're a part of the family, are you not, Mr. I live in the same home as everyone else?
We eventually get back in the car. It's just like, has anybody seen Soren? He's just still sitting on the bed.
Family. Family is an abandoned family.
Like, I mean,
Is anybody going to
I'd
convince him?
imagine even Agathar
I mean,
is
the
just
only
like,
one
hey,
still
yo,
there is
you come
Valen.
with us.
Yeah.
What was that, Shad? Sorry.
I'd like to imagine that even Agathar probably pops up like, hey, Soren, you coming? And he's probably like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not, this is a family matter. You're family too, buddy. Wink.
I implore you to reconsider.
Yes!
Okay.
Alright. Valen,
Well,
are
Soren
you...
is-
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Soren.
Yeah, Soren will stay there for a second, like contemplating whether or not he should like get himself involved in this, and he's just going to finally get up and then follow them down, just in case there's something else wandering or waiting for them down there. Because this is Mel. She instilled her paranoia into her kids, so this seems to be a very, very like close, like intimate thing for her. So he doesn't doubt that the place will be guarded. So he's gonna go
Okay.
down just to make sure that his family is safe.
Valen! Bobby. Stay up there?
Alright, he's gonna continue trying to get the door open for a little bit.
The door does
Wiggle,
not
wiggle,
budge.
jiggle,
Valen, you almost died for these answers that are probably down here.
Answers are half truths.
Soren just shakes his head and he says, I have no idea. And he just goes down.
I'm not wasting my energy on you right now.
It's like if you wouldn't believe what anyone told you, then why ask the question?
Ooh. Ooh.
Like, man, it's really sunny out here. It's just like, no, it's just warm moonlight.
All right.
And then you'd be
all right.
like, dumbass, moonlight
Actually-
is sunlight.
Actually, Soren's not going to go down there yet. He's going to stay up, and he's going to stay up and say, well, they'd at least be answers. They might at least give you a lead of where to start looking. You're just going to throw that away? Your mother is giving that to you.
She's no mother. Just another master. Master
But
that
she's, oh,
master that
Right.
betrayed one of her own students. You should know that pain.
Soren scowls at this. Like, he does not look happy. And
You're stronger
just
than
goes,
him. Grab him.
And then just goes, what? Yeah, he just scowls and says, fine. If you're gonna stay stuck up your own arse, then feel free. I hope it's warm up there. And then he goes down the hole.
Ooh. Well, Valen, how long do you try and get out?
He's gonna stay up there for quite a bit. He's gonna try kicking down the door, kicking it open.
Nothing worked. After a couple minutes, you can ascertain the door is under an arcane lock spell.
Let's see, what spells do I have paired?
That, and you can see various glyphs along the ceiling that are lit up.
Unfortunately, I did not take the spell magic. Took a lot of other spells though.
Eh, you can't dispel the door. Ew.
Well, Valen, if you believe that there isn't a door hard enough, it may not be there anymore.
Anyway, while you're figuring that out, I'm gonna go to everyone else. So, Morrigan, you
Yes.
you kick the stairwell. You kick the trapdoor open, pretty much, and you see a long stairway leading down further into the depths of whatever this is.
Yep.
Just a second. So, and as you kind of like go down these stairs, you see a long hallway at the very bottom of them. And as you kind of like sit there in contemplation for a couple seconds or so, Rensois is down there with you. And then, if the two of you wait a moment longer, then comes Agathar.
Oh, no, I wasn't waiting. I'm pattering down the steps before they arrived, so I didn't know they were noticing it right away.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
was told to leave.
You weren't told to leave.
She was
Like,
guided.
you weren't told to leave. Like, none of you were told to leave.
Just to give
Agatha
Nelson
told me to
time.
leave.
Oh, Agathar did. Fair enough. Fair enough on that.
Angithar.
So yeah, she heads down. She clicks her staff as the top of it lights with a couple of like will-o-wispy like blue lights
All right.
as she descends.
All right. You descend the stairs and make your way down a hallway, and you find yourself inside of this massive laboratory. One full of various alchemical tinctures and instruments, and a few dozen corpses warped beyond recognition with various little clipboard-style notes beside them. The corpses themselves are like very large and have elongated limbs and appear to have like multiple different stitchings along them, different eyes here and there. If you would like, you can roll for me an Arcana check.
They're flesh golems.
Your character doesn't know
Right.
that. Your character knows that. They're flesh golems.
Yeah, they're flesh golems.
Yeah, Soren, like the footsteps of Soren can be heard behind her as he says, "Wait up, wait up."
It's
And he,
Rensois first. Like,
yeah,
Rensois
Soren
and
was the last one
Agathar...
there.
No. Rensois was the first to go through, and then it was Agathar, then you.
No, I think it was Agathar then Renswa.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Soren
okay.
Soren would be
Yeah, Soren's
rushing
last.
ahead.
Okay. Then yeah, Agathar,
Okay.
you're the first person to kind of like make your way into this laboratory to kind of like see Percival poking around and seeing these massive corpses, flesh golems as you would know them.
I'm just reading one of these clipboards.
The clipboard seems to have the clipboard seems to have components that were used to make it. You see that the particular flesh golem that you were holding onto the clipboard of. Let's see which one it is. You see that this particular subject looks to have been comprised out of various animals. You see boars, you see squirrels, you see goats, just kind of like formed the flesh basis for this creature. And that it is supposed to be a bit more hardy than a normal flesh golem, without being like, it doesn't have resistance to it doesn't have resistance or immunity to lightning. What it has is immunity to bludgeoning and slashing damage.
Just tosses the clipboard back into where it was, and then moving to something else interesting as Agathar arrives with her little staff lighting the room up.
Yes.
Yeah. He's gonna like look around and see all these like the tables with these constructs, and then he's gonna go to a different one, and then just kind of like inspect the work, and then look at the clipboard.
Alright. This particular one, once I get it adjusted. This particular one that you're picking up the clipboard for, it appears to be made out of bones with bone plating put beneath the skin, like it's a flesh golem for all intents and purposes. But it looks as if this one uses a lot more bone plating and bone armor to make it a bit more resilient to damage in general, increasing its AC pretty much. It is also comprised of locally sourced creatures and bramblites. And you can tell because one of the arms is opened up with these veins that are pumping this thick black ichor along.
Would Agatha be able to find a journal down here? I think she would probably take notes about the progress of these creations or the failures of these creations. So he wants to try to find like a journal that has like her notes in it.
Well, as Rensois enters the scene, Morrigan, since you were looking around first, you actually see a small work desk with a book sitting in the center of it.
Is it heavy?
Well, let me describe what it is first. It is a small, flesh-bound book with a quill beside it. The front cover seems to have the skin of a face pressed into it and stitched into the binding. The eyes on it are hollow, and the mouth is open in this screaming position. And as you kind of, like, move over and kind of like pick it up, you feel these eyes settle upon you, and you feel a sense of fear beginning to overwhelm you.
Meh. Is this the bottom floor, or are there the
This
steps keep
is
going?
this is the bottom floor. It steps into hallway into Flesh Golem room.
It's the only room.
Only room. And you, Agathar, can actually see this journal along with Renslaw. The two of you can see this journal, or is just kind of like, well, this book, my fault, is in Morrigan's hands, but she's just sweating visibly, unable to move forward or backwards, or...
Is it
So
the
safe,
one
huh?
that we brought here?
It is not the one. What were you trying to say, Morgan?
No save, huh?
No save. It is just a fear effect, though. It's one of those things of, like, we're holding basically a human, a skin-bound book.
It's scary as shit.
It is...
Meh.
It is... I mean, yeah. Like, it's hard for me to describe fear factor to people.
It's pretty straightforward. That
It's-
is a fleshbound bug.
It's kind of, it's
Like a
less...
Necronomicon.
It's
You
like
start
a...
summoning deadites. Don't deal with deadites now.
It is like kind of like a visceral reaction of just like you kind of want to put it down.
Agathar will walk over, and he just kind of holds his hand out. May I?
He kind of side eyes you before just dropping the book onto the ground with a thud.
Mhm.
Taking a step back and just kind of leaving the room.
He kind of looks at her, just kind of starting to walk, and he just kind of sighs, and then he'll pick it up and he'll kind of look at it.
Well, you, my friend, are immune to fear.
I sure am. He will turn it to the first page.
Well, I have a question. Does Renswa let Morrigan roll out?
She would probably like touch her arm and be like, "Are you okay?"
I'm fine. It's you all who seem to have issue.
Yeah, well, family drama's a bitch, right?
This is more than drama.
Yeah, maybe.
Well. And at this point in time, Soren, you stumble in on the two of them having a moment.
So, and when Soren comes in, he's probably going to see the flesh golems, and his left hand is going to go back to the sheaths of his weapons. And he's going to just stay there and, I guess, be a bodyguard because he doesn't know what's going on down here. He does cast some glances around just out of curiosity to see what's down here and what an archmage would have wanted to hide.
Oh. Agathar, as you pick the book up and just kind of, like, flip to the first entry, it is a journal of some description. It's a scientific journal of sorts. And as you kind of, like, look at the pages and you, like, run your fingers across the flesh-bound skin along the back, you feel something tug the back of your mind. And Francois, you also, as you just kind of like, I'd imagine you look over to Agathar to make sure he's okay. You see this flesh-bound tome as well, and something tugged in the back of your mind as well. This sense of recognition through the both of you. This sense that you've seen this somewhere before. Can't place where. And more specifically, you guys never knew Mel to keep journals or notes or anything of the sort.
Would I get the sense that would that be a would he get the sense that that is a sensation one would get if they saw something familiar, if they were affected by a modify memory spell?
Well, that is the proper question. Roll me an Arcana check.
And this is a spell effect, so I get advantage?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yep. At round money. And with that, for you, Agathar, the illusion snaps, and you remember the book. You remember Mel keeping a very detailed notation inside of it. Usually while watching you.
His head kind of like shakes a little bit as he kind of snaps out of it. And I think he starts reading through the book, and he starts saying,
You gonna
yeah.
Gonna show it to Francois?
Yeah, he kind of starts making his way to her, still kind of like looking into the book. We've seen this book before, but there was an illusion put over it. We were made to forget that she was writing in this.
Francois, you have a Arcana check as well. At advantage. 19. With the lower DC from him outright telling you, and that twitching in the back of your head, the illusion snaps for you too. You are the person who's been with her the longest. And you remember this. It was her private journal. The one that she had back when she first encountered you. And
is the illusion still up for Soren as well?
Soren, you were never her apprentice, you wouldn't know.
Oh, okay.
Like you see the book, and it's giving you the heebie-jeebies, but at the same time, like... And...
Okay.
With that, I am going to show to you guys Master Mel's journal. And I will let you guys decide which entries you guys want to read.
Oh, no, don't make me read.
Holy. Oh.
And as you kind of, like, flip through this page, both you and Francois just kind of... You get this sense of familiarity. You remember peeking over her shoulder to get a look at what she was doing before she was able to hide it away in time. And you, Francois, remember that this was the inspiration for your name. And the same for your pseudonym, Agathar. So, with that having been said, who wants to read the first bit?
You have stuff to send us?
If you guys would like, you may read the entries that are pertinent to your characters, namely the numbered entries that I've listed there. So for you, Francois, it'd be 85, 105, 166, 178, 303 and 612. But 612 isn't noted in here because I have that for you, Agathar, it's 200, 205, 216. Yeah. And you, Valen, may also read your notes, even if you're not here.
Yeah, Redswall will pop hers open.
All right. So, would you be so kind as to read the subject line before you read entry 85?
Subject R3N-C015. Subject is a female Orictali with a more muted personality that has a penchant for druidic magics and spores. Refer to entries 85, 105, 166, 178, 303, and 612 for more notes. Oh. I mean, I suppose I was fairly muted as a child, but I suppose that's what happens when you find yourself in the bramble.
Right.
She'll start flipping through. Entry 85. Subject Ren. I'm just going to say Rensois. It's easier than spouting all that. Subject Rensois recovered from the nearby bramble woods today. They were lucky that I could sense the magical potential latent within them. Otherwise, they would have perished alongside their caravan. New people coming into Vitrium found themselves entangled by the bramblites and slaughtered. Yet Rensoil was able to send forth a burst of natural magic through the woods to signal for help. Although it seems as if the subject was traumatized by this event and is unable to recall what happened. Such is the nature of the weak-minded among the mortals of this world. But we take opportunities where they present themselves. I have been offered a clean slate to work with and mold. It will make a fine linchpin for me when it grows into its power. I don't remember any of this. I guess that's the point of repressed memories, though, huh?
Trauma.
Speak up a bit more, Agathar.
Yeah, this is, or trauma.
Yeah.
Um,
At least it seems like I've repressed him myself. But she just shakes her head and keeps flipping. Entry 105. Subject Rensois has started calling itself Rensois after seeing my notes on it. While the subject may have only been under my purview for a year, it has made great strides in spore assimilation and their use. The death head spores they managed to absorb from my personal collection didn't kill it, and as such it has gained a new level of strength. Once it is able to harness the power of those mushrooms, it will reach a new height I have only dreamed of. Secondary note. Subject Rensois called me mother today while I was taking notes. Why did I allow it to do so? Flip, flip, flip. Entry 166. Rensois has seemed to help Subject Valen come out of their shell in a way by being kind to them. The two have formed a sibling-like bond, and the moment-to-moment banter between them is endearing. Why is it that Subject Valen and Rensois playing together can be found endearing to me? For what reason do I have for caring about them? I wonder if that is the case. I hope not. I must remain vigilant for such softness influencing me, lest I restrain myself with their training. They must be prepared for whatever might come, no matter what it is, but perhaps Subject Valen should be free of his contractual obligation. I don't trust Lucas as far as I can throw him, and I trust this contract even less. Note, upon the destruction of the contract, that bastard Lucas implemented a failsafe to enfeeble the one it was made for. Valen has lost much of his past and past self. Now it rests on me to put the pieces back together again. Such is the folly of working with that giggly son of a bitch. Note, in an attempt to get some revenge for his betrayal, I went to rescue Valen's sister, only to find that the bastard had moved locations by then and covered his tracks well. Such is the nature of cowards.
She doesn't have the contract.
Speaking of, very minor
And the
aside.
memory loss was Lucas's fault.
Speaking of very minor aside, I think I want to try and keep this in somewhat chronological order. So, Valen, Bobby,
Yes.
would you read your subject line before reading entry 108?
See, before 108?
Yeah, you're reading your subject line, which is above entry 85.
Yeah, so the thing at the top and then 108.
Yeah.
To keep
Yeah, the one
them
that
in order.
says subject. The one that says subject to 43 1
Yeah. Because I'm like, before 108, I'm trying to look for entry 90, but I'm like, I don't see an
It's
entry 90.
it's V431YN.
Yeah. Subject is a male orc Tolly with a deadpan personality. Seems not to care about anything. This one has an affinity for the clerical arts and the grave domain of magic. Refer to entries 90, 108, 166, 178, 303, and 612 for more notes.
Also, entry 90 is missing. I'm sorry about that one.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, where the fuck was-
Just go to 108. Just go to 108. Don't worry about it. Entry 90 is gone. I meant entry 108.
The page got ripped out of the book.
Huh, more secrets. Interesting.
It's not like that was a typo. And it's entry 108 is your first entry.
Shad lighting. No.
To be fair, reading 108, that should be the first one.
Yes.
Subject Valen was purchased from Lucas today. Francois seemed happy about the purchase, but I was dissatisfied with it. Lucas scammed me and gave me a half-brain-dead child that I have to put extra work into. Subject Valen is emotionally dead, with the bones that have been broken and re-stitched together over time and again to make them adamantine via skills. Yet, as a result of this, the subject is cold and unwilling to partake in any of my experiments unless forced to do so via their contract. So far, Francois thinks that I have brought her home a brother for our happy little family. And I don't have the heart to tell her otherwise. Note: Why does Francois' opinion matter to me? Further testing will need to be performed.
All right. And then next on to entry 178.
178.
Yeah.
I
which
think
is
this
still
one's
Valen.
yours as well, Valen.
Yep, it
Nope,
is.
it's under Francois also.
It's
For-
Francois
when
and Valen.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah,
So both of
From-
you read it together. We get it in stereo.
nah. Go ahead.
Entry 178. After the disastrous wiping of Valen's memories, I've managed to put the poor boy back together again. I am no expert in the mind or memory erasure, but I managed to at least repath the neural networks of his brain and get him to be functional again. Francois was happy when I brought him back and gave him a hug. She even cried, and I felt an emotion I hadn't felt in a long time. It was compounded when she turned to me and said, "Thank you for saving Valen, Mom." I'm still smiling like an idiot even as I write this down. These two are too dangerous to be kept alive if they're going to continue to influence me like this. So I've decided that I will strangle or stab them to death in their sleep tonight and keep their corpses around as a reminder to myself of the dangers of apprentices.
Valen, you can read the notes. Assuming Francois and Agathar don't have any commentary on that bit.
Well, clearly that didn't happen.
Can Soren hear them like this isn't like
Imagine.
magically masked from him, is it?
No.
Well,
No,
I mean, like,
you hear
if
us
they're
reading all this.
if they're reading out
They-
loud, then no, it's not.
Okay, because there's a thing about the whole like we couldn't
the
talk about the
Lalilulilo
art pages.
thing.
Yeah, so I didn't know if this was also magically enchanted for people who weren't
Nah.
in Mel's family. Okay, so yeah, Soren just kind of goes, she was going to but couldn't bring herself to do it.
No, I am undone. I couldn't kill them. A single look at their faces, and Rensois stirring in her sleep to look at me in the night was too much for me to handle. She looked so happy with herself that she had woken up to my sneak attack, thinking the dagger in my hand was but another part of her training. I just managed to play it off as it being her victory and gave her a treat, which she so diligently checked for poison before eating. I remember those days.
You remember
I
that
must be
memory
strong.
specifically.
Yeah, I remember that night. I must be strong. I must be strong. They have no power over me. I can kill them whenever I want. They are nothing but insignificant bugs to me. A secondary note. Rensois and Valen both gave me a woven necklace this morning after my failed ambush. I didn't know what else to do other than keep it.
And as you flip the page, you see that necklace, that woven necklace made out of various flowers and beads, is dried and preserved on the next page.
Soren is kind of trying to fight back tears at this point, and he just says, she couldn't do it. She just really couldn't do it.
Rensois, like, she kind of goes to reach a finger out to touch the necklace, but pauses, knowing this thing is so dried out, if she touches it, it will probably crumble. Or the very least come loose from where it's been pressed to the page. And she will keep flipping around until she hits entry 200, start looking at it, go, I think this
Agathar.
is where you come in, Agathar.
Agathar, would you be so kind as to read subject line first and then entry 200?
Yep. Subject 4647H4R. Subject is a jungle kobold with a height of 1'8", with a peppy and jovial personality that has a penchant for the necromantic arts. Refer to entries 200, 205, 216, 303, and 612 for more notes. Entry 200. The teleportation circle activated today, and I found subject Agathar wandering around in a daze after having just killed a Fiorian paladin. Evidently, the order has found my other apprentices in the woods and slaughtered them. Seeing him in this state, I am reminded of just who he is and what he means. Agarius. A name that is painful to remember, yet the fates conspire to place yet another linchpin
Oh no.
associated with something I
Ah.
wish.
Go back for a bit. Yet the fates conspire. You cut out for me.
Oh, gotcha. Yet the fates conspire to place yet another linchpin in my lap, and another apprentice. One that is associated with something I wish to forget entirely. I wonder if she had anything to do with this predicament. Meddling witch. Regardless, I will treat this one as I have treated the others. His name means nothing to me now. And he stares at the page of this entry, and it doesn't mention him being with another person. And he just kind of stares at it, thinking, like, meddling witch. She mentions a witch in this.
Do you think maybe
Maybe she
Helga?
thought about Helga?
What?
Maybe. Just you say Helga?
No.
Oh.
What's What's
I'm
her name?
thinking-
Bianca? Fucking the super sister.
Oh, Anka.
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 Uh,
Not Bianca. Anka.
I was about to say Anka.
Hmm. You don't think that's who she's talking about?
No, is she?
No.
Do you think she's talking about Morgan's master?
I wonder if it might have something to do with the transmutation archmage. They seem to have. They seem to
Well-
get along a little bit at least.
Yeah, but this doesn't seem. The way that's worded doesn't seem very endearing.
I
Maybe something further in says something?
Maybe.
Well, this was recent, and the transmutation archmage. Well, recent compared to, you know, how old archmages tend to live.
Maybe. Alright, entry 205. Subject Agathar has taken to calling himself Agathar the Desecrator, which is cute to me. It hurts how much he reminds me of him. That always cheerful attitude of his is infectious. He wears his namesake well, and that is what hurts more than anything else. He believes in me so much, and I have not the heart to tell him just how much of a monster I truly am. But ultimately, I am the monster that this world needs. The one that keeps the others at bay and keeps necromancy alive. Note. Why did I have his parents name him after my brother? Note
Wait.
when then. Wait.
Her Gregarious was her brother.
His eyes widen. The Dragonborn. I'm named after the Dragonborn? No, but he was a Dragonborn. She's a. He flips to the next page. I was talking to Agarius today about his training regimen and why he inquired why he shouldn't trust me, and I couldn't find an easy explanation for him. While it would be easy to explain my true reasoning, I stuck with the tried and true one I have always used. You don't trust me because I will exploit that in attempt to kill you. And his response shook me. He told me that he didn't believe I would ever actually kill them, that he believed I loved him, Francois, and Valen too much to do so. I could feel myself go still, and before I could really respond, my body was moving and subduing him. Even as I held his neck in my hands, his trust wasn't misplaced. I stopped just before the light fully left his eyes and he was rendered unconscious. I could feel it in my very soul, what remained of it. It was right. I couldn't kill him or any of them anymore. Measures must be taken to prevent this from getting out. Entry 303. Late at night, while they slept, I stole into their rooms and used a few scrolls to remove various memories of theirs and to change them. Their names and their origins in this journal shall be forgotten, as will my mercy. This journal shall be confined to my laboratory and the research with used for other tasks. They can never know my feelings for them, and no one can know, because if they do, they can be used against me. I won't have my children threatened because someone wishes to get to me. No, Agarius told me today that he wasn't sure if he could kill me if given the opportunity to do so. This was perhaps the first thing in a long time that has made me cry.
And then go to entry 612.
3612. I am betrayed. All three of them have been plotting to kill me this whole time, and I knew it would come to this. On some level, I always knew it would come to this. I thought I'd been preparing them for the world and that I'd been protecting them, but in reality, I've been raising a den of snakes. I heard it today through Rensoir's spores, and I almost couldn't believe it. Agarius, my sweet Agarius, was talking about how he was going to kill me, and over some or from Suba. It's ludicrous. Why are the ghosts of old Suba always returning to haunt me thousands of years later? I did what I did to avenge my brother, my lover, my fellow linchpins, and all those who'd been made to suffer at the hands of that thing. One child died to open the gates of war and give me the opening I needed to kill it, to rip its soul apart and consume it. If not for me, then Ruba and Tarandria would have fallen to it and the whole world thereafter. Why am I to suffer because of its actions? Because of the steps I took to ensure its death? Why is it my fault that Agarius' soul was consumed by it? Why is it my fault that it banished me to the Shadowfell for a decade? I suffered the taint of negative energy and crawled my way free of it in order to get my revenge. I suffered for years for my moment, and I took it when I got the chance. Who cares if a child died and a family was broken? They were allied with the enemy. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault.
Pause.
It was my fault.
Pause. Valen, you take over the middle bit. Agathar, you close out.
Yeah, and then when she said the part about she heard their conversation, his like hands just cover his face in shock, as I think he just kind of tears start welling in his eyes.
Soren will try to hug Agathar from, I guess, from behind, just like pull him in and hug him close.
Valen, the middle part, please.
Yep. It was my fault. It was always my fault. It's because I let all that anger and rage control me. I told myself for all of those years that I was in the right for what I did. And I almost convinced myself that I was in the right. But where did my promise to be better than I was turned into this?
I realized centuries ago that I would be killed eventually. It only makes sense that it was these three, my children, that did it. The ghosts of old Suba come to haunt me because I deserve what I get. I killed a child and sent the whole nation into a civil war and a death spiral while doing nothing to prevent it. I was so drunk on my newfound power after I killed my master, then I forgot why I had done it in the first place. My vengeance had all but consumed me. I regret those actions I took. I hate myself for being what I am, but I don't have to tell them any of this. Maybe they will forgive me and forget about all of it. Maybe they won't ask these painful questions and we can play at being a family for just a little longer. I can play the part of the all-powerful and the all-knowing master and they can continue being my apprentices. I've never been more proud of what, or sorry, that's a big word.
Ostensibly.
Ostensibly failed. Never been more proud of what are ostensibly failed experiments of mine. Failed because I cared too much for them. So much that even now that I prepare my defenses for their arrival, I am merciful. They can strike me and try to kill me, but I know they won't be able to. But just in case, I'll set up a defense that will ensure sudden death to any that could. Maybe when I see for myself what one of them can, I'll be compelled to kill them all. Maybe if that happens, I can forget that they are my greatest treasure. That's the final entry in the journal.
Damn it, Mom.
It's all
Maybe
my fault.
Valen gets it from her.
It's my fault. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. I think he just kind of starts looking for her. Like he just kind of starts looking around.
Yeah, Rensois kind of she sets the book back like on what, like pedestal or wherever it was, and she's going to start making her way back upstairs.
Agatha will follow. Like right. He will kind of gently pry himself from Soren's arms, and then he'll like almost go into a sprint.
Soren will let him go and start following them up as well.
And where is Morgan at this moment? Just standing in the
Probably
doorway?
the last to leave. Looking
Okay.
behind her at everything in the room. Before just kind of slowly following the rest.
Alright.
There was nothing here for her in the first place.
And Balin, as you were just kind of like, you're trying to escape this room. And you're looking around and you're seeing all these glyphs and you're pondering to yourself, just what will activate them? What will they do when they're activated? How are you going to leave?
I'll let that interrupt. We can do that later.
So, what are you doing?
So sending will or will not trigger these?
You believe that it will.
Alright. He'll just the fuck happened? Ben will just continue pondering around. He's already done with this whole situation.
Right? Not going down to the basement?
Nope.
Alright. You're
You
just
just
pacing
find
about.
he finds a seat and just looks to where the healing potion close up the wounds.
Alright. And as you sit there and you sip on your healing potion and you just kind of feel a lot more warm when you were once feeling so cold, you think back to whatever it is that you think back to. And after a moment or two, I want to say roughly 10-ish minutes or so, you hear the pitter-pattering of footsteps as they run back up along the stairs and into the same room with you. You see Agathar first, followed by Rensois, Soren, and lastly Morgan. Soren, you didn't find anything, sadly. You were a bit too preoccupied with following people.
Agatha was like full crying at this point. As he just kind of like desperately wants to. He's just like looking for Mel. And I think he'll check the door just to see if it maybe unlocks.
It does not.
Don't bother. There's no way out of here. No. Use a spell, triggers all the glyphs of warding. Not even a sending spell can get through. Essentially locked in here.
Can I go step out?
You may certainly try.
I think he is gonna try because he's so desperate to try to get to her to explain himself, because he feels 100% responsible for how she reacted to us coming here. And Valen's, granted, he considers what Valen did to his own action, but it was one of those where, like, it wouldn't have had to happen if he kept his mouth shut. So he still like blames himself for everything.
Alright.
And so he's kind of desperate to see Mel and to explain himself.
So as you're just sitting there like, You can't get out of here, you can't get out of here, Valen. Or as Valen is just kind of sitting there, you can't get out of here. You see Agatha just walk through the door.
Yeah, he just turns to black mist and it just phases through the door.
I wouldn't do that.
I mean, nothing happens because it's an ability. And not
Oh.
a spell, per se. And as you kind of, like, step through the door, you run face first into Mel, who is just on her way back in.
He is a fucking mess as he looks at her and he just says, I don't want to kill you. I was lost. I didn't know what I wanted. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't want to kill you. I don't want to kill you, Mom. I don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to kill you, Mom. I'm sorry.
She kind of, like, steps back at seeing this outpouring of emotion. And for perhaps the first time in the whole time you've ever known this woman, she actually takes a step forward and pulls you into her.
Yeah, he just.
And she just kind of goes, shh, it's okay, it's okay.
Fucking
It's okay,
falls into her shoulder.
I understand. Just going. I taught you. Let's go to the others. I think I owe everyone some answers.
Okay.
And then she'll just reach up and open the door. Send him back in first, then she'll walk in next.
Full child falling, ugly crying.
Yeah, Soren has been trying to fight back tears this whole time, and he is failing. He is absolutely failing.
Renswell would have probably made her way to the kitchen to start making tea.
You can't, you're in the one room.
Oh, we were locked in the one room entirely.
Yes,
Yeah.
the one room
Just
entirely.
The hut.
I
One
was
behind
stepped out of the room.
Oh yeah, no. I thought we were locked in the hut, not the singular room.
No, you went into the hut, and then you went into the room she was waiting for you in, and then the door closed, and then she locked you in.
Got it.
Yeah. And, so...
In that case,
Yeah.
probably when she steps in, there would just be like a scraping of the chair as just Renswell pops up. Mom!
Yeah. That's me, I guess.
And she'll just runs over and scoops her up.
You read my journal, didn't you?
Out loud.
Yeah, I did.
Then why do you still call me that? You know I wasn't that to any of you. I don't think I wanted to be.
On contrary, you became that. You didn't want to, and you still did. You wanted to protect us, you wanted to protect you. And regardless of all of that, you couldn't fight it.
No. I suppose I couldn't. In the end, I'm apparently just as mortal as the rest of you. Balin, I'm sorry that I killed you, dearie. It It wasn't my intention. I didn't think you had anything that would be strong enough to threaten me.
As I said before, you made us into aspects. Paranoia creates weapons.
I know. All too well. Rincewild, would you let me down?
She will pause for a moment, reluctant to let go, but she does eventually set her back down.
Thank you. So, what do you say we have a bit of tea, and I answer your questions, seeing as how at least two of you give me better what actions I took. I assume that Valen didn't go and read the journal.
No, he didn't come with us.
She nods. Very well. Come along now, all of you. And she will turn and begin to leave the room, exiting and leaving the door open.
Yep.
You sounds fucking great right now.
Yeah. He will follow.
Alright.
Soren sniffling gets up and follows out.
And Morgan?
I stick back with Valen.
Okay. Valen, do you follow?
Not at the moment. Why
Okay.
should they continue to trust her?
You continue to trust me.
Not completely. Oh, that is merely the result of her training. What she created.
Then trust isn't a thing you have. So questioning others' trust isn't something you should be able to call into a question. It isn't a concept you know.
It's all about survivability.
She shrugs.
You do not trust us completely. I'm sure that your trust is just about as solid as you think it is. Trust us with a grain of salt.
I trust you all implicitly. You've seen everything at this point. There's nothing left to hide. And yet here I stand, kicking back with you because I have some wish that you not be alone.
And Saul will need you more than me. Go.
Francois is fine. She has her brother and seems to be doting on her mother. You are the only one nursing your paw.
I just need time. And I'll be fine.
Time is what you have. I have been told to leave. So, I'll do as I please. For the moment, you are stuck with me. Learn to deal with it.
So what half-truths did you all learn down there? I have no intention of going.
Not even willing to listen to the lies. At this point, you have no jurisdiction to hear the truth in the first place. You wouldn't be willing to believe it. what point would you be satisfied?
Perhaps I never will be. Having my mind twisted like that. You can never learn to trust again.
That we agree. Though I find myself seeing a unwanted kinship with that homunculus you once called a mother, as the three of you have had some form of way of beating warmth into a cold corpse.
Something of her own making.
I doubt it. Don't think that woman's ever made anything warmer than a lukewarm set of tea. So if you are remiss to sulk, you can at least do it in the comfort of your own room. She kind of like whacks you in the shin. You either go to them and share some tea as what they might call a family, or join me at the caravan.
I was planning on going to the caravan anyway. They can give me the rundown. I don't.
I could
I don't
give you
think
the short of it. They decided to read it aloud because the entertainment value is palpable.
I don't think I can hold my temperament in front of her for now.
I think this is the most I've seen you speak in a single sitting, so you must be upset.
That I am.
You may not be up for tea, but a good cup of coffee could do you some good. As Morgan wrangles you to your feet and whacks you with the head of her staff, not painfully, but enough to corral you like a calf.
Like a
Valen will come and follow. Perhaps I'll even tell you what I planned to do.
Oh, good.
Like,
We're sharing stories of our imminent demise.
I already know of yours.
You don't know mine. You've got outlines and schematics and an understanding of the end result.
No, I thought we were talking about our deaths. What caused them? You fell from the sky.
Oh, well. That's pretty cut and dry. You were there.
Valen will chuckle. He doesn't even bother picking up the bramble vines as they walk past it.
All right.
And we kind of just walk past the kitchen and out the door to the caravan.
Yeah. You guys could probably all see this happen as Mel sits at the head of the table and also kind of watches it happen. She gives the both of you kind of like a small nod of understanding. But she doesn't ask you to sit down regardless. She doesn't insist. She lets the both of you just go where you're going. As she turns to the rest of the people that are with her. So, your questions again.
My mic was muted.
Oh boy, it happens.
That's all right. I call myself like, I can't really hear myself. Oh, I know why. He will hesitate and just kind of look at her and he just says, Douglas wasn't real, was he?
What?
Douglas. He wasn't real, was he?
No, he was real. He was just a corpse when I was there.
there's a little relief as she answers it. Um,
What? What do you know of the caravan that I came from? Do you know who they were? What they were doing in the ambush?
Sorry. She's going to shake her head. I don't know anything about them. By the time I noticed their presence, they were already dead. As much as I know about them is that they are from a different country. Down to the south of us are the unsettled wilds. A place full of druids and the like. Nature lovers, rangers, and so on and so forth. Small nomadic tribes.
Was there nomadic traders of some kind that came to a forest that was more than, well, bit off more than they could chew?
Yes. They came in from the side of the bramble closest to the tower in the center. Opposite to my hut.
Did the
I'm
forest
sorry that I
and their
can't...
bodies, or
Well, you have to understand, they were just a bunch of bodies. I really had no need for them, but the forest did reclaim them. You were the only survivor because you were hidden well enough. That and I arrived in response to your magical pulse. You could hardly remember what you were, how terrified you were. You were small enough that I could hold you. If that tells you in any way how young you were when this happened.
well, to be fair, up until not that long ago, I wasn't that much taller than you either.
Yes. I'm sorry that I can't tell you more about your caravan, your origin. But the fact of the matter is, when I first met you, I didn't think of you as anything more than... Well, you saw the journal.
An opportunity.
She nods. R3N-CO15. Francois.
How did you come up with those little codes anyway? Did you just grab Scrabble files?
Don't mock my codes.
Fair enough, fair enough.
They were based on an old numerical cipher system that me and my older brother came up with.
Gregarious.
Yes. How much do the two of you know about him? Or the three of you?
Well, we know that there's a dragonborn named Garius. He's a black dragonborn. He was a servant, I believe.
Yes. He was indeed. And I'm a kobold, as you can tell. You can see the family resemblance, though. Whenever...
Half-siblings, I would assume.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Half-siblings, I would assume.
Not exactly. You see, my mentor, whenever I was first introduced to him, said that they wanted utter control over their linchpin, even what form they took. So he did what I was able to do to you, Renswa. Of course, after a decade and a half, you get used to forms like these. And with alchemical treatments, you forget others.
What do you think happened to Agarius?
He was disintegrated by the Emperor.
Do you know why?
For falling in love with the prince. That and standing up to his father, which brother was always known for having a penchant to being. He was always known for being a bit melodramatic.
He was very brave.
He was.
My parents had said they were year-old apprentices. What happened? I mean, they were horrible people.
They became my apprentices when I was new to this region. Well, to the other region, really. I trained them, and of course they took my secrets and did what they will with them. Of course they respected me enough to listen to me when I whispered in their ear to name their firstborn Agarius, feeling it was some twisted way of keeping my brother alive to a degree. You see, emotions are irrational. I don't know why I did that to this day, even. And I don't think I ever will.
As much as I don't like to admit, I usually think with my heart and in my head. And it's got me into situations where maybe it wasn't the best, but it allowed me to help resolve a mystery forgotten to time. It helped me resurrect a father that we killed and have him reintegrate into a world where he wasn't originally welcomed. Emotions can get you in trouble, but they're incredibly powerful. Everything that I do, I pour my heart into, and you should see Belle and my newest creation, Anna. They're they could kick my butt if I gave them the chance, but they have a little bit of me in them. They're very sweet. They're patient. And I think it just goes to show that emotions can keep people alive as much as it can put them in danger. And what a life you can live when you feel emotion.
Hmm.
Balin's really missing out.
I suppose. It's funny. There was another person who wanted me to feel more recently. Outside of you lot, of course.
Who was it?
It is of no importance now. What is of importance is that, well, I suppose I tell you what happened with Balin. Seeing as he won't be here to hear it from me personally. Maybe he'll trust it more coming from you two.
I don't think he will.
Such
It's very
as
questionable.
Such is the folly of my teaching method, it seems. Well, as I'm sure you noted in that journal, originally I did purchase him from Lucas. But I suppose what I didn't write down is that at the time I felt bad for Rensois being all alone. So I wanted to give her a brother. And thus we have Valen. And, of course,
For
because...
better or worse.
Yes. And of course, because the contract itself was... irritating. That, and Valen didn't trust me in the slightest because I held it. Because I purchased him. He saw me as he sees me now, I suppose. So, in a display, to show that I was not like Lucas, I ripped it up in front of him. And then, well, he collapsed onto the ground with his
You
mind
did.
being broken. You know, it is because of me that he is not catatonic right now. But it is also because of me that he would have become catatonic. So in the end, it all balances.
I don't think you would have done it if you would have known what it would have done.
No, I wouldn't have. I would have taken it back to Lucas and shoved it into his face and demanded that he get rid of it. That I have no use for... Well, I had no use for broken rituals. But no, that contract that he is on about, I don't have it anymore. Even the fragments are gone. As if I would own slaves after Suba. And then, of course, there's this long, awkward pause.
I'm sorry you went through that.
It's fine. He's better now. As to why his memories haven't still fully been restored, that I have no clue. Probably more of Lucas's meddling. You did meet him recently, so he would have had time and ability to put forth one of his infectious enchantments. The whole lale lule lo thing is an example of such a thing.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So, you had my parents put a teleportation circle in, or was that their idea?
That was their idea. Of course, I let them do whatever, so long as they weren't bothering me.
Did you meet me beforehand? Before we met for the first time?
No, I stayed away from them. They became a bit too fanatical for my taste.
Yeah, you and me both.
But of course, after having met you and had all this time with you, I do regret not getting to know you sooner, or maybe curbing their fanaticism. But another notch in the long line of failures.
Yeah, but that's kind of what makes us. I've I failed plenty of times. Hell, he kind of like motions to his arms. I could have performed that ritual better. I could have done many things. I could have done more to protect my friend. I could have checked the mug. I could have done this. I could have done that. But it doesn't matter anymore. It's what it is. It's what it will always be. It's the important things is what we take away from it. And maybe we should have met earlier, but I'm glad that we've met now.
You're one of the few people that I know that would be happy to.
Yeah, well, they don't see the side of you.
Most don't. It's weakness. Exploitable.
Speaking of, who was in your journey? You mentioned a meddling witch with Agathar's arrival.
Yes. I suspect that the Archmage of Divination had something to do with that. But of course, you can't really prove things when, well, a single tug or a flap of a butterfly wing a continent away causes something big to happen. Chaos theory. String theory, however you want to call it. It's hard to ascertain things directly, but you do admit it is oddly convenient that I had not one, nor two, but three of my linchpins show up within a fairly short time frame of.
Maybe. Maybe this is also planned for whatever is coming.
If this is a part of her plan for whatever is coming, then she has lost one of her best assets by enfeebling me in this way.
Or we can use it as an opportunity to give everything you got in the protection of those that you love. It's what keeps me pushing. It's why I experiment all the time. It's so I can make sure I protect my family.
Yes, but if I do everything for you, you won't grow. You won't get any stronger than you are right now. You'll
Uh,
stagnate.
Yeah, well, we're on our way.
they don't have to do everything for us, you know. When the chips are down, when everything is coming to a head, that's when the strength of family matters.
Perhaps. I'll certainly try and be a better mother, as odd as it is to say that. I'll certainly try and be better. You know, 1,000 or so years ago, I said that I would be better than I was in Suba. And I like to think that I have been. No real mass homicides, genocides, kingdoms crumbling, falling. Simply me, sitting in a spot in the woods, stopping the spread of a necromantic corruption.
Have you learned anything huge about the bramble? It seems really mysterious. I don't know if it's been worse since you first started working with it, or if it's been better, or if it's been about the same.
Some fool decided to try and make himself a lich. But, well, in his attempt, went awry, and he did become a lich. But in doing so, he spread a blight around, because he wanted to become a lich among the druids. And so, there he rests in his tower, his corruptive influence spreading to the woods around it, trying to creep and engulf all of Vitrium, but not for me. And of course, I know you might be asking yourself, well, why don't I go and take care of him? Well, then that would leave nothing for adventurous types to do. People must grow, and they must face strife, and they must perform heroic tasks to become heroes in and of themselves. And so I tend to the woods. I keep the bramble back, and I wait. At least I was. Still am. Currently waiting for heroes to come and slay the lich at the top of the tower. Do keep in mind, I'm not asking you three and your group to go and try and kill this lich yourselves. You're not strong enough for it yet. But maybe one day. Who's to say?
We got bigger fish to fry in ch-ldr-n right now.
You do. But there are some very powerful artifacts in that tower.
Well, maybe
Hmm.
maybe later we can
Yeah,
take care
well,
of it.
if any of them are magic, they're not gonna help with ch-ldr-n.
Possibly.
Yeah. So I've learned, facing a ch-ldr-n Praetorian by myself, magic isn't going to win us the fight with ch-ldr-n. Though that doesn't mean it's not going to be helpful.
Yes, I know. But still, you had so many questions.
Well, the journal entry answered some of mine. Especially, first one.
She looks to you, Renswa.
I suppose right now my biggest question that I'm thinking of is how much do you trust the Archmage of Enchantment?
Not in the slightest.
Hmm.
I know that he will do his duty when the time comes, but how he goes about doing it...
Sorry, I'm at transmutation.
Oh. I'll just assume you did enchantment first and then transmutation second. She'll give her opinion on both of them. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him, and I can't throw people very far. And I know that he will do the job that comes when the time arrives, but at the same time, I don't know how. His child soldier program was interesting from a thought experiment perspective, but in execution, cruel is a word for it.
Yeah.
And the transmutation Archmage?
That woman is a wild card, but one that you can rely on in these dire times. She's one of the older Archmages, been around for quite a while. And me and her, we don't necessarily get along. Chaotic versus lawful and whatnot. That, and if she senses any form of weakness, well, she's very likely to pounce.
Yeah, she was very well, it felt like she was ready to just turn me to dust when we met up last, but she is
Was she now?
he just like ooh. Yeah, she did a finger point, but she waited, said it wasn't the right time.
Well, I suppose I'm gonna have to remind her just who she's messing with.
Wouldn't push her too far. She
That
was also
woman...
she was also quite insistent in informing us that you'd gone soft.
Great. She already knows. Then perhaps it is best to hang back. Don't want her getting any ideas that I might try and legitimately fight her if she kills one of you.
I get the sense she might do it just for the entertainment value, so perhaps best to keep cards close to your chest.
She won't do so yet. Not while the Archmages are being pulled together and we need our linchpins.
Yeah, and not while we're providing her cheap entertainment by overthrowing governments.
That too. She then looks to Soren and she just like quirks an eyebrow at him and then slowly tilts her head to the right and just strokes her chin like, huh.
And Soren like holds up his hand with the ring, with the transmutation ring on it, and he goes, "Oh, you mean this?"
Huh.
Yeah, she did something to him, and we don't know what she did.
I think it was she just put this in my pocket, one that I didn't even know I had. But she gave it to me and told me to keep close, take care of her ring.
Really?
But she did say something else that was interesting. She said that she hopes that she can see what I'm capable of in over 100 years. And I'm pretty sure, or at least I'm hoping, that she hasn't lived long enough to forget that not all of us live incredibly long lifespans like the Archmages do.
No, she wouldn't.
So she meant something by it then.
Yes. And I can see what she meant by it, but I still just can't believe it.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah, dearie, that ring you're wearing, those rings can only be worn by one of 3 particular individuals. The Archmage themselves, a person closely associated with them, such as a lover, husband, best friend type, something like that. Only one per Archmage, obviously. Or a linchpin.
Soren's hand just kind of like
I gotta just
looked.
head turn.
Wait. Somebody's phone is ringing. Someone needs to pick it up because I fucking called it.
Yeah, so Soren's hand just kind of like slowly lowers to the table and he says, "Alright, I ain't an Archmage, and I would rather die before calling myself a lover of hers."
Or best
Are you
friend.
s-
Or best friend.
Or best friend. Like, that too, but that could have. Alright, so say that again, please?
Well, if it's not the first, clearly, or the second, also clearly, you're a linchpin to the Archmage of Transmutation.
Alright, so I'm sorry, could you say that one more time because
So-
I'm thinking I'm mishearing
No,
something here.
Soren, you're a linchpin.
I'm a nobody. How could I be a linchpin? I can't be.
Well, apparently
I
you
don't think
can
you
be.
really get to. Let's be honest with her. I don't think you really got to pick.
Did she?
But-
He looks at Mel. Did she have a linchpin before we met?
Every Archmage has a linchpin of some kind. It's just a matter of whether they have them on board or not. Does she still have that slime girl?
Oh, Amalia. Actually, she's here with us.
Wonderful. Good, we have spies here. Amalia is one of her linchpins, yes. Just as I have 3. She had just the 1, and now she has Soren,
But
apparently.
aren't linchpins born?
To my knowledge, yes.
Apparently, there's a way around that.
Either
Transmutation, bitches.
either that or is it a genetic thing? Is it by blood? Can it be by blood as well? Or does it just happen at random?
I'm going to be very
Phelan's
frank.
sister suddenly pops her head out the window. What?
Blood? No blood. Blood? No blood.
No blood.
Aww.
Vonnie just dips back out of the window.
She just shakes her head. I'm going to be quite frank with you, Soren. I know nothing about the situation you're in right now. You're just a linchpin. Somehow Soren is a linchpin.
Is it because you passed ch-ldr-n's tower? Maybe? Because you can use scrolls.
That was a gift that was given to me by Dralam. She told she well didn't really teach me. She just passed that capability on to me.
Huh. What? Hmm.
Wow, this this is a lot to take in.
Eh, yeah.
This is a lot to take in.
So,
This
1 is happenstance, 2 is a coincidence, 3 is a pattern, 4 is an even greater pattern, apparently. At this point, I'm just going to stop questioning things.
well, the thing that confuses me is that I have no magical aptitude whatsoever. All of my supernatural capability that I'm capable of exuding is from my spirit. It comes from the balance that comes from that's in the spirit that one can earn by meditation and
Dearie, one need not be a linchpin, or one need not be a magus of some kind to be a linchpin.
wow, that's wonder what mom and dad will think of me when they hear that. Do I even tell them?
No. In fact, if it's of any reassurance to you of my fellow apprentices, one was a roguish type, the other was a street musician, and one of them was a knight. The rest, of course, were wizards and so on and so forth.
What could they do with their linchpin-ness capability? You know what I mean.
Well, one could transfer life essence between 2 individuals, healing them, and so on and so forth. Another had a spirit that was attached to them, an old flame of theirs that they kept on hands through necromantic magic, unintentionally, of course. And then another could simply blend into the shadows and slip to the in-between, the material and the shadow plane, stalking through it like a ghost in the night to get from point A to point B. Becoming one with a more necromantic area of existence.
So Soren is now just kind of like gazing at the ring on his finger, and thoughts like anybody can tell without even rolling for it that millions of thoughts are running millions of miles a second into his head right now. And but there's kind of a look of disappointment on his face as he begins to hear this and like process it.
Regardless of all that, it's what you are now. Not really much one can do to change that.
I suppose I should learn more about it and figure out how I can work it into my blade arts.
Maybe it would improve your lightning stuff, you think?
Unsure. Something I have to meditate on, I think.
More than likely, dearie. There is no real handbook to this linchpin business. You simply figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
As
Just
for...
play around with it.
Yes. As for you, Renswa, and I'm thankful the 2 of you have forgiven me to a degree. Although I don't think I deserve that.
We are our own worst critics, typically.
Sorry, what?
We are typically our own worst critic.
So it seems.
I don't know if I can truly forgive what happened. Really, it's not my forgiveness to give. But I know without a doubt that you do regret everything. And the fact that you do regret it, honestly, is good enough for me. But I don't, it's not my forgiveness that you need to look for, or let alone have.
Hmm. I'm sure Soy Fang will find me when she's ready.
Yeah, she will. But at least I can inform her of what I've learned, and she can do with that information what she can.
I do truly regret my actions back then. But if
Female?
you had seen that thing, if you had known it, I'm not sure if you would be so inclined as to be grateful that I'm regretting it.
See, Mel? That is why I don't view you as a monster. Because a monster would have not hesitated to have killed Rensois, Agathar, and Valen. You hesitated because you could not do it. Your conscience would not let you do it. You ain't a monster, Mel. Monsters don't have consciences.
Hmm. Yes. Perhaps not.
I do have one favor I need to ask of you.
And what's that?
Well, you somewhat, well, kind of totally rebate Francois, and my fight with that Praetorian really made me realize and how much of a back burner necromancy has taken in my life. And I've learned that it's not my primary thing anymore. It's being sneaky, being a little, well, a little arcane trickster. And I think I need to have the skills to match that. I'll always be a necromancer. I'm never going to stop doing it, but it's not my primary thing anymore. If you could help me re-scramble, I guess, I would be very grateful.
Of course I can. Just so you know, though, you'll never be able to fully turn away from necromancy. It's as much a part of you as it is a part of me. It is what you are.
I know. Um, I've accepted my necromancy as what it is. I make things. I made Belle, and she's become practically sentient, along with Anna, who I've made less than 4 days ago. I make things, and I modify myself.
And apparently Belle's pretty good at chess.
she's she's pretty good at chess.
I'll have to be the judge of that.
She'll she'll be down if you ask her.
I think she's getting bored of beating Doug.
Yeah, they play all the time, and Anna is a worse sport than she is.
I believe she also got tired of Wendy throwing the pieces around.
She will.
Soren laughs at that.
She'll stand up, just kind of chuckle softly. Just. Yeah. I'll bet. And then she'll slowly walk around the table to where Agathar is and just. Well, she'll tell him to face her, and then she'll
Yeah.
put her hand through his chest and. Re-scrambled.
I think it goes in a little too easily because I think he times his little like Zeus glyph ability just to kind of just just mold around her. Like it goes in a little too easy.
Like it's like Osmosis Jones at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Rincewind just stares. She's like, "Oh God, is that what it looked like?"
Yeah.
I feel like Soren would say it at the exact same time she does.
So yeah, no, hand in the chest, just and then it just slips back out, whole repairs. You can reallocate your levels as you wish.
Beautiful.
I have a thing I need to do quick, but before I do so, I'm gonna lead on over to Valen and Morrigan so the two of them can have a moment to talk and chat with one another, kind of vibe, and then, after say about a minute or so, Agathar, Renswa, and Soren, the three of you can just walk back in the cart at your leisure while I'm off doing the thing. Imagine if you would that everyone else, all the other NPCs, are just kind of like chilling, talking with each other. They're kind of like giving you guys a bit of a wide berth to kind of like let you talk amongst yourselves and kind of like be with one another because they can sense like some heavy shit just happened.
Yeah.
Sure.
Before Soren leaves, though, he would want to say one more thing to Mel.
Yeah.
He's going to say, "So, I just want you to know that you have effectively regained your family here at this moment. These chucklefucks here, they're my family as well. I hold them dear to my heart, so I suppose that makes you my family too."
I suppose.
He'll smile and then walk out.
All right. Anyway, you guys talk amongst yourselves. Do the thing, yeah.
All right. Back at the caravan, at the table, just a mug of like black coffee is set in front of Valen, as Morrigan sits in their particular seat and sips from her own stock of black coffee.
So what is it that you wanted to nag to me about? We all know everyone's going to do that when they're finished.
I don't have anything to nag at you about. Mock, sure. But that's just the commonality of the two of us at this point. What is there to nag you for?
Doing something idiotic as trying to do something to an archmage.
Who hasn't? I have personally courted the ire of several at this point. The others are just too afraid to say anything to the contrary.
The ire, yes, but to actually do something to them.
You mistakenly triggered the trap. It did not seem as if she intended to kill you. Or immediately regretted it, if I am to believe her face, but I don't.
Possibly, but who knows in the end.
You don't. You never know. You can't trust the nose at the end of your face. I'm starting to believe there is mm, no instance in where you will fully be comfortable, and that makes me sad for you.
But it is the life that I choose to live. One that was, well, I could say, almost forged for me.
Choose to live, but is it the one you want?
It's the
This,
one that I know.
there are plenty of individuals who live a life they do not wish for and have no other means. You are extraordinary in the fact that you can see what is in front of you at this point. That can change. You just have to do the changing for it. You have to want it. This this state you are in, this superficial, comfortable you that you insist on, you're going to end up like her. And I surmise that is the last thing you want.
That we can agree on.
Maybe you should take some steps into alleviating some of this distrust you have in at least the few people who reside beside you. Certainly don't trust me. Agathar is perhaps someone you would think twice about confiding deep secrets in, not for the fact he intends something insidious, but more because I believe he has difficulty keeping. I do not see Soren ever betraying you. He's much in like a over-enthusiastic pup, too willing to please. While Francois is more complex, I do not see them treating you more than a being older sister. Take this from someone who wanting and willingly hid very dark things from all of you at this point and revealed them under duress. At this point, I can't see why they would not trust. You're the only one holding yourself back at this point.
True, I might be the one holding myself back. I will admit. But sometimes holding yourself back is a way of protecting yourself.
From what? What are you protecting yourself back from? In this small instance. Going to protect your little family from feeling bad when you die? That's not going to do you very good, I'm pretty sure. By the looks on their faces, you could spit in all of their morning breakfast, and then die in front of them, and they would be no different in how they would treat you.
I've returned.
So at this point, you're doing it more out of habit.
A habit to protect myself.
From what?
Um,
Feeling bad?
from myself. Having my memories returned to me in that way, learning everything. I don't even trust myself. So how can I learn to trust others? I can't even trust myself. How do
You
I
are-
know? How do I know that these memories aren't just another fake?
You don't. Eventually, you have to believe something. At that point, what's the point in waking up? And yet you still do. Make something up. Pick an ideal reality you want to live in and make it so. Do something. Getting tired of watching you mope. She sips her coffee. I'm so glad I have this back. She pours more from her endless flask.
Ah. Sometimes it might seem as if I'm moping, but other times I'm thinking.
What is moping?
There are too many pieces of this puzzle. Too many.
Kind of like leans over and grabs her staff and just kind of reaches over towards your face and kind of like pushes up one of your cheek if you don't like pull away immediately.
He doesn't.
I think there's a smile in there somewhere. It's dead. I think you could be happy at some point.
That point is a long ways away.
Maybe. She leans back. So you can't be upset at me for mocking you, for being the black sheep, if this is how you're going to act. You don't need to forgive her, but you at least need to be civil.
Eventually, my anger towards her will subside, but not now. Not yet, at least.
I can toast to that. She just raises her mug up. Not forgiving Mel.
So not forgiving.
Clink. I almost see a grin. At least I can tease one out of you.
And yet I think you're the only one who can.
I am extraordinary in this way.
You have a unique way of getting under people's skin and their innate defenses.
I'm quite good at it.
Frightening good at it.
Comes with being empathetic. Or at least seeing a bit of myself in you and just watching you fall on your face like I have. Like watching a newborn trying to walk and stumble. It's only funny the first few times. Eventually you have to go over and right them, set them straight. Like I'm doing right now.
But it won't last forever.
Well, no, hopefully you'll grow up. Then you won't need me to dote on you quite so much. You could try a little bit of it right now, the growing part. Perhaps by extending a little trust to your siblings. Or at least Soren. He's really just the safest bet out of the group. Eh? She just jabs you in the shoulder with her staff. Eh? Little trust? You can do it.
Well, you say Soren is all too eager to please. He's not only that, but also rigid in his ways.
He's a samurai. Of course he is rigid. It's part of his training. Form, figure, pipe, stab. The only rigid thing about him I have at least seen. Perhaps thick, dense in the head.
Perhaps, but
She whacks the table a little bit in front of your drink. You have drink at least a little. I'm not going to sip my mug and watch you stare at yours.
he blinks, now realizing that he's been nursing the coffee. Yeah. Ugh. Apologies. Much is on my mind.
Oh,
He'll just sip at the coffee.
so what now? You've come, you've asked your questions, you are completely decimated, and then left to come back to the caravan with the grumpiest member of your group.
I don't
Do
know.
you have no plan? Well,
There was a plan, but not now.
you chose a terrible time to enact it. If you were going to try and do her harm, you probably should have done it outside of her domicile. Then,
Not that plan.
oh,
That was in the moment.
for someone who
He-
talks so placidly, you have a wild streak. It's contrary.
Exact- True enough. But as I said, it was in the moment. He'll raise up the mug to take a drink. After all, why would I use an ability to negate one's immortality? And he takes a long drink.
Likely I would have waited until they were dead before I tried using that.
Don't mind me, just messing with my sheet.
I imagine this
Yes.
is kind of when people start meandering in.
More than likely.
Is Veronica still outside?
Um,
Oh, she's not
Currently?
allowed in the caravan.
Yeah.
currently Veronica and the Bone Sisters are
Mhm.
not in sight, and you don't know if that's relieving or terrifying.
It's gonna like kind of ping Bell a little bit. Just where are you? Like he starts kind of like pinging, like reveal yourself? Question mark.
Oh,
ASL
Brother.
Question mark.
we're in the middle of performing a demonstration. We're helping Veronica hunt bramblites.
Okay. Which direction did you go?
We're a good distance away from the cabin, Father. You've been in there for a while.
Yeah, a lot happened. All right, I'm coming to get you guys.
No, worry
You
not,
rolled-
Father. We will return in good time.
Still coming to you. He's gonna try to feel
But
their
Father,
location.
please.
And he will.
Father, please. It's rather uncool, apparently.
Yeah, father.
It'll
Leave
be
the gr-
fine. I'm just gonna make sure that you guys and she's okay. We don't want to play with the bramble. It's very dangerous.
We're
Don't mind me.
fine. We're only sticking to the outskirts. We're only fighting like the weakest kind there is. Veronica has been hunting them for the past couple weeks.
As they're still like talking to Agatha, he's still like feeling the location and starts like he climbs a tree and then starts like going to the location. He's just like I have to make sure paranoia is also setting in on him. He's
Oh
making
boy.
sure everything's okay.
All right then. All
But
right.
he's being sneaky about it.
All right, go ahead and roll stealth.
Unfortunately, I do not get proficiency with stealth yet. 11. Actually, would I be able to cast borrowed knowledge on myself just to get myself proficiency?
I don't see why not.
Yeah. All right. So add 4 to that. So 15. Probably not good enough for. Veronica probably sees it. I don't know.
All right, so no. I mean, what's the past perception of your girls?
They'll definitely see me. Anna's 17, Bella's 16.
Yeah, no. As you kind of like creep through the trees and make your way towards the more bramble-infested area, you can kind of like you see your girls just kind of like quickly hide something behind their backs as they turn to face you, with Veronica also hiding something behind her back, and just like the three of them are just kind of like, oh hey, look, Agathar, how's it been going? Did you finish the meeting with Master Mel? Yes, Father.
Yeah.
Did you finish? Yes, Father. Did you finish?
Yeah, we're all done. It's it was intense, so I'm just making sure that you girls are okay.
We are
So,
fine, Father.
yeah.
I have been crushing skulls into bone dust. And I have been slashing things with claws.
I just want to imagine. I'm sorry. I just want to imagine that Anna just has this "Yes, brother"
Yeah.
kind of voice.
Very
pretty much.
base heavy.
Yeah, very
We have been
heavy.
hunting bramblights, brother.
Brother.
To which, to which Veronica just nods her head, yep, and nothing else. Exactly, nothing else. Yes, nothing else whatsoever, Father.
Voiced by Michael Dorn.
Nothing else whatsoever there, Father!
Brother.
Brother!
brother.
He
Ooh,
kind of
yeah,
wipes his face a
brother.
little bit. Oh yeah, brother. He wipes his face a little bit, and he just kind of smiles. All right, well, I know me and Veronica wanted to have a conversation, and I just want to make sure you guys were all right. Things got
Yes,
kind of intense in there, so.
yes you did, and it's a conversation I'd very much like to have, but one that I would like to be a little bit better prepared for. She smiles.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, very clear. You kind of have to catch your breath from all the bramble killings. So.
Yes,
I will be
Father,
near the cart.
multiple bramble killings.
All right. Well.
We have
I will
killed
be at the
so
cart.
many bramblights, Father.
Doesn't
Bell-
look
Bell
like
nudges
they've
her.
ever been. I mean, is it clear that there's like no bramble corpses around them?
There's a couple, but not like as
couple.
many as they're implying.
He's like, all right, well, I'll let you guys be, clean up your mess, make sure you guys are all right, and I'll be outside the cart, just gonna catch my breath a little bit. So yeah.
Don't worry about us,
Go.
Father. We got this. Yes, Father. We will be perfectly fine. Yes, Father. Veronica says, just using heavy quotation marks.
He just kind of shrugs and then kind of turns, glancing back at them, and then kind of a small smile appears on his face, and then he just starts hopping back through the trees to the cart, but he's not going to enter it.
You
He would
hear,
probably see Soren just kind of like sitting on
Hold
one
on.
of the steps of the cart, just kind of like gazing at his ring.
You hear Anna as you start leaving. You can hear Anna going, "Do you think Father was on to us?" as Belle shooshes her. You're being too loud. Being too loud? What?
Preposterous! I am at my normal volume!
I am
brother.
I'm quiet as a little kitten, Belle. Sister! Yeah, there you go, there you go. I'm quiet as this kitty
What
over
have we
here,
done?
sister!
Whatever
I'm
fucking
the
done.
cream of the
What have you
crop
done,
when it
Soren?
comes to being quiet.
Anna's gonna win so many championship belts. Anyway,
Yes,
he
she
will kind of glide himself back onto the top of the car and then just kind of harumph sit down. He kind of realizes his legs are kind of dangling over Soren as he just kind of looks down. You all right?
You know, I ain't sure. And he's just still just gazing at the ring on his right ring finger.
Mm-hmm. Well, doesn't seem you're taking the news that you're a linchpin very well.
I think it's more of a surprise than anything else. I never really saw myself as anything too special, you know? I ain't a mage, I ain't really anything big, but if she was telling the truth, then here I am.
Well, Soren, you were special even without the linchpin. You're like one of the best fighters I'm trying to say that as a compliment as I've ever met, but I haven't met a lot of people. But you're exceptionally talented in being a samurai. You were special even without the linchpin.
I'm just wondering what this means about my duel with Misaki now.
Well, I mean, do
Because
you? Oh, sorry, go for it.
it's just because if I am a linchpin, that means I have capabilities far and above those who aren't linchpins, and I don't even know if she's one. If she ain't, then that would I feel that would make me dueling her dishonorable.
Soren, I encountered the kind of honor that those ch-ldr-n people exploit, and to be honest, I don't fully understand honor. I always thought that maybe it was like a code of ethics, but it's kind of it feels like an opinion-based morale code. I value your honor, and I know it means a lot to you, but these ch-ldr-n people, they murder innocent people, including just people who just know a cantrip. Where's the honor in that? And she has sided with them? I mean, granted, from what little that we have learned about it, maybe she had to join them because she didn't have a choice. But even then, the linchpin is just an extra tree of skills that you can look into and serve your own purpose. I don't think it would sully your match. It's just extra abilities that you can use or not use. You don't have to use your linchpin stuff when you fight her.
Well, you're probably right. She has probably decades more experience in the art of the blade than I do. Maybe that'll provide her an even playing field.
Maybe.
Or maybe she'll still be much better than me and I end up dying anyway. I'm not sure.
Well, if our abilities and power have skyrocketed in the 2 weeks we've been in Mir's Eye, I think you'll be able to handle her when you meet up. I mean, it won't be an easy fight, obviously, but I think you'll be able to go toe-to-toe against her.
I don't expect it to be easy. She taught me everything I know. You'll probably foresee a lot of what I can do. But, on the other hand, I've learned a number of abilities that she didn't teach me. So, I ain't sure.
Exactly. Use the new stuff. Bring her into a false sense of, relying on the things she taught you, and then mix it up. Throw her off.
But then the bigger question is, do I even tell anybody else? Like, is this something that needs to be secret, or is it... I ain't gonna flaunt it, that's for sure, because
Yeah,
I'm not that kind of person.
maybe to the people that we truly trust. Well, bring your nose of them already, so there's no harm in telling him or the other powerful people that we know. But it is probably best if we stick it close to the chest.
Because one test I had to check to see where this whole linchpin business comes from was to allow my sister to attune to this ring and see if it works, because according to Mel, it wouldn't if she ain't a linchpin. But I don't even know if I should do that.
I would probably take her word for it. I don't know anything about Neatal, so I just know that she's a pretty good rogue. And I don't know if she's a linchpin, so I wouldn't be surprised. We do keep that kind of company.
Well, if she could attune to this, then she would be a linchpin, apparently. That was part of what I was wanting to find out. I suppose this is something I need to mull over.
Maybe. Well, I think it might also be important that because your transmutations are a linchpin, then I think you can attune to it. I don't think any linchpin can attune to it.
But it... I
And
guess
Amalia probably could.
my question was, is the linchpin business tied to blood? Because if it is, then Neatal would be able to attune to it.
Yes.
And that would...
I think,
you... Sorry, go ahead.
it's like, I think you're an exception. Because, well, here's the thing. Either she has awoken the linchpin in you and finally brought it out, or she gave you the ability to be a linchpin. Somehow playing the system, if that makes sense. I mean, she is transmutation, so she can kind of make whatever she wants.
She's also rather cheeky, so that's not outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah. So...
Right. This is something that I need to think about more later. Why don't we head inside?
I'll be in a bit. I think I need to get some... I'm waiting on Veronica and the others to come back. They're, fighting little bramblites right now.
Oh, you want some company?
Maybe for a little bit, and maybe until she comes.
He smiles and then rabbit hops up to the top of the carriage and sits next to Avatar.
He kind of smiles a little bit, still kind of like rubbing his chest. where Mel.
Oh, also, I have a question. How many levels of exhaustion did Renswall suffer from?
I don't remember. It was probably 2?
When I got my body
I
rearranged.
think it was 5, wasn't it?
It was 5, but like Aggie was like also recuperating, so we'd stayed until I think it was like it started at 5. I lost 1 each day down to 2. Then
he's at 5, he's being carried.
Yeah, it took.
So
it started at 5. Then next day 4, next day 3, next day 2. It stayed at 2 until a week had passed, and went down to 1 after 2 weeks had passed, I think.
Okay, so to keep things consistent, you're at 5 levels of exhaustion, but you ignore 1 level because of your skills, so you're technically, your quotation marks at 4, so you can still move around and stuff. The reason you aren't suffering from that as much as you should be right now, aside from the normal detrimental effects of exhaustion, is because she didn't make you taller.
Yeah. In fact, she made you smaller.
Like, you're now 1'3".
He'll
She
never
made the whole
notice.
world
He,
big. She made
he'll
the whole world smaller.
he'll never notice if I take an inch off the top, dearie. I hear soy likes them. I hear soy likes short kings anyway.
Why am I doing her a favor? I literally called her a whore in my journal.
I mean, that was some years ago, but
Look. That was said in anger.
That was a different time.
That was 5 minutes ago,
I'm gonna push it
dearie.
now.
That was 5 minutes ago.
Yes, but she's a whore that's dating my son.
So it's okay.
I'm a lovely family.
Alright. Anyway, so, with that having been said and done, Rincewild, what are you doing?
T.
T.
T. She's stressed.
Alright. Is this T in the cart? Are you going back
yeah.
to deliver the news to Valen? About all the shit that got discussed?
No, not yet. She's annoyed with him.
She's annoyed with him. Alright, fair enough.
She's like, if he wanted to know this information so goddamn bad, he could have come downstairs with us.
And not like he'll believe it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Okay, so you're
He's like, I'm not gonna waste my fucking breath.
all right. So are you just in the cart, vibing, or are you elsewhere?
No, she would be in the kitchen, making tea, and also probably putting. Well, she doesn't need to make coffee for Maury because they have their decanter.
Okay. So you're inside the cart.
She would be. Yeah, she's in the cart brewing tea.
Okay. Okay.
And just like sets down in the living area, in one of the recliners, and just kind of. It's like halfway drinking tea, halfway like light meditation.
Hey, I
I
will.
think Morgan gets up, looks to Valen. Well, I have said all I'm going to say to you today. And I waddle out, like walk my way over to Rincewild and just kind of thump in their lap.
Meditation and tea drinking continues with light, like head stroking.
she's petting Morgan like she's a cat.
Good to be me. Or like a bird. Birds like to be pet too.
Very fair. Alright. Oh. Unless the two of you have anything else specifically that you'd like to do, I am just going to say that this is very likely where we end session today.
Fair enough.
Gosh, what a session.
It's okay. It's okay. I do one little thing. One little thing.
One little thing.
One little thing.
Okay, go ahead. Which one little thing?
One more thing, Jackie.
One more thing. All right, what's your little thing, buddy?
As he's just like kind of sitting on top of the car, he just kind of looks at Mel's hut, and then just kind of looks down back in his lap, and then he's going to contact Zoe, and then just a little ping, and he's just gonna say, "You doing okay?"
I'm doing fine. There were times I wanted to stab, but there was never an opening. Except for that time that she started crying.
glad you didn't take it.
She was crying for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what happened?
She regrets it. All of it. It was just revenge for the death of her brother, which is, well, Ligaria's. Where my name comes from, funny enough. She mentioned that to my parents in a quick message. And over time, I guess the three of us wore her down enough to... Maybe she started to see herself as a mother. And she's been just burying that guilt and regret and anger until Valen just popped the cork loose and it came out. If you read her journal, you can look at my memories for it.
I will. But later. Are you okay?
Tired. I mean, I had my body jumbled around, but now
I
I'm
can tell.
yeah, but now I'm more like you. Well, less of an actual assassin, but a bit more arcane in nature. Little trickster. If you're nearby, I would love to introduce you to Veronica.
I see her.
Yeah, they're making something, but I didn't try what it was.
I see. You'll probably enjoy it.
Probably. But, oh man, I'm really tired. I'm sure gonna have to be carried around a lot.
That's what you have Veronica for.
Yeah, no, that's... I'll be alright. I'll be able to move around.
I'm the cuddle pillow you have in the room.
Yeah. You make a very good one.
I should. She'll then sever the connection, and he will feel the ghost of a smooch on his cheek.
a quiet little yip comes out of Magthar as he blushes a little bit, and then just smiles.
Soren
Feeling
beside
a lot
him.
better.
Soren beside him, like, what the fuck was that?
Did you say something? No!
Well, by this point, Soren can probably determine the happy ones from the distressed ones. So he can. So he's probably just gonna like reach over and just pull Agathar close.
Another yip.
See, I knew it was a happy one.
I can tell the difference! Yay!
Yay! Agathar just leans into Soren.
Alright. So, anything else anyone else wants to do?
Seeing that Mori and Rensoir are essentially not cuddling, Valian will head to his room and mull over the events.
Alright. And with that, going once, going twice, going thrice, no one said anything about it, so we're gonna end session there.
Hooray!
Wait, I got one more. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, hold
I
on.
will strangle you.
I didn't throw my big enough. Wait.
Anyway, thank all of you for coming to watch our lovely, lovely little YouTube series. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and to leave us a what's up on the YouTube VOD. And if you want to catch us live, you can catch us live every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. CST. The same time on Wednesday that the VOD will be posted for an ad-free viewing experience on the YouTube channel. At any rate, Agathar, say goodbye to the people.
Agathar, the kobold rogue, tells you goodbye.
Alright, I'm fucking adjust the intro now. Morrigan, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, people.
Francois, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, people.
Thorin, say goodbye to the people.
Soren, the Orictali linchpin samurai, says goodbye.
Yeah, you gotta adjust the intro now. You gotta adjust the intro.
Valen, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, everyone.
Alright, and we're gonna
Go
go
Moody.
and we're gonna go into the post stream. Goodbye.
Ah!